Hi guys, welcome to MJAPRO tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I made this lovely wrap dress using the easiest method. It is so detailed, beginner friendly and very easy to understand. So if you love what you see and you want to know how it was achieved, please watch till the end. And if today is your first time on this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And also don't forget to drop a like and a comment. These are the fabric I'll be using for this tutorial. Here I have my lining and the main Ankara. So adding a lining to your wrap dress is totally optional. You can decide to finish up the neckline and the hem using a bias. So I'll be drafting the back of the dress first, after which I'll use it to cut out the front and I'll be drafting on my lining. So here I've gone ahead to fold my lining into two this way, and I folded using the biggest part of the body, which is the hip plus my sewing allowance. So when folding, you'll be folding using your hip divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert half of my shoulder measurement on the top of my fabric this way. Next, I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, after which I'll go ahead to insert the armhole depth. Next, I'm going to go ahead to connect the point together using my ruler like this. So after connecting it, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to insert the vertical measurement, which is the shoulder to the waist or the half length and shoulder to the full length of the blouse. So the full length of the blouse I'm making is 23. I'm going to be adding a sewing allowance of 1 inch, which is going to make it 24. Next, I'm going to go ahead to draw a straight horizontal line with my ruler like this. So this line here is going to serve as the waistline, while this is going to serve as the hip line. The next I'm going to go ahead to do is to insert my bust circumference on this point here. So I'm going to be marking my bust divided by 4, then I'll add a sewing allowance of 1.5 inch on the side like this. And I'll be doing the same thing on the waistline. I'll be marking my waist divided by 4 plus my sewing allowance. I will not be adding a dart to this dress. Adding a dart is totally optional. So if you want a dart, you can go ahead to fix a dart. Next, on this line here, I'm going to go ahead to insert my hip divided by 4 plus a sewing allowance of 1.5 inch, after which I'll connect the sides with my ruler like this. After connecting the side, this is what we are going to be having. Next I'm going to go ahead to do is to insert my neck circumference. So I'm going to be marking 3.5 inch as the neck width for the front and the back, while the neck depth for the back I'm going to be using 1.5 inch. Next I'm going to go ahead to draw a simple round neck with my ruler like this, after which I'll go ahead to draw the shoulder slope. So after drawing the shoulder slope, the next I'm going to go ahead to do is to draw the armhole. So because I'll be using this to cut the back and the front, I'll go ahead to draw the back armhole first like this. So this is going to serve as the back armhole. Next I'll go ahead to draw the front armhole, and in doing that I'm going to be dividing my armhole depth by 2 this way. After dividing, I'll be going in by 0.5 inch, after which I'll connect with my ruler like this. So this is what we are going to be having. Next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to shape the lower part, and in doing that I'm going to be going up by 1 inch at this point, after which I'll connect it to the hem using the curved part of my ruler like this. So this is what the back is going to look like. So remember, we are cutting the back on fold because it does not have a zipper. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So after cutting it out, this is what the back is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut the front using this back pattern. So here I have my fabric for the front and it is on fold. So the amount of fabric to fold, that is what you should have on this part like this, should be your hip divided by 2 plus your sewing allowance. So that is what I have here. And I'll be cutting 2 pieces for the front because the front is going to be overlapped. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to place the back, which I drafted earlier, on it this way, making sure that the folded part is going to be facing the part with the sewing, with the allowances on this side, because this folded part is going to serve as the center front. So after placing it this way, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to extend the waistline and the hemline with my ruler like this. So after extending the line, I'm going to go ahead to measure what I have on my waistline minus the sewing allowance. So I'm just going to measure what I have minus my sewing allowance. So when I measured it, this is where my waist stopped and the other part is the sewing allowance. So after measuring it, what I got was 7.5. So I'm going to go ahead to transfer the 7.5 to the line I extended at this point like this. And I'll go ahead to mark the same thing on the hem of the dress also, after which I'll connect the 2 points together using a straight line with my ruler like this. So next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to work on the neckline. So the first thing you're going to go ahead to do is to determine how deep you want the wrap dress to be. So for me, I'm going to go ahead to mark 7 inch at the center point like this. I'm going to go ahead to mark the 7 inch. After marking it, I'm going to connect it from the shoulder line to the waistline. But first I'll fold in the back neckline this way. Remember, the neck width for the front and the back is going to be the same thing. So I'm going to be folding the back neckline this way, after which I'll secure it with my pin. Next, I'm going to go ahead to draw the neckline from the shoulder to the waist. That is the extended part of the waistline we have at this point. So you can decide to make it straight. You can decide to draw a straight neckline, and you can decide to make it a little bit curved. So I'm going to go ahead to draw it in a curved way using my ruler like this. So after drawing, this is what the front neckline is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So after cutting it, this is what we are going to be having. Next I'm going to go ahead to do is to notch the center of the wrap dress this way. Then I'll go ahead to open it up for you to see what it looks like. So this is what it is going to look like. We're going to be placing it this way, making sure that the notched part is meeting each other. This is what we are going to be having. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut my main fabric using this pattern that has been drafted already. So I'm going ahead to cut out my main fabric using the pattern that was drafted, and this is what it looks like. This is what the back is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do is to work on the front first, and in doing that I'm going to go ahead to finish up the neckline and also the side and the hem of the dress I'm making. So I'm going to be placing my lining on the front this way, making sure that the good face of the lining is facing the good face of my fabric. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to finish up this neckline, this side, the other side, and also the hem. So if you are not using a lining for yours, you can go ahead to finish up the neckline using your bias. So use your bias to finish up this part, this side, the hem, and also the side. So I've also gone ahead to cut out this strip that I'll be attaching to the wrap dress. Is going to serve as the belt. So the width depends on how wide you want it to be, and also the length depends on how long you want it to be. So I'm going to be placing the belt on the fabric this way. I'm going to be placing it in between the lining and my main fabric this way, and I'm going to be placing it on my waistline, so it should be on the waist area. When sewing, I'm going to sew over it this way. So I'm going to go over my sewing machine to quickly do that. So here I have the back. I'll be doing the same thing for the back. I'm going to go ahead to finish up the neckline, the side, and also the hem. So I'll be placing my lining on it this way, making sure that the good face of the fabric is facing the lining this way. Then I'm going to go over my sewing machine to finish up the neckline, the hem, and also the side. So I'll go over my sewing machine to quickly do that, after which I'll come back to show you what to do next. So I'm gonna head to finish up the neckline and the hem with the side, and this is what I have after doing that. So this is what the belt area is going to look like. So this is what the front of the dress is going to look like. I also went ahead to do the same thing for the back. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the front to the back of the dress, and in doing that I'm going to be placing the front on the back this way, making sure that the good face of the front is facing the good face of the back this way. After which I'll go over my sewing machine to close up the shoulders and the side. And when closing up the side, I'm going to be leaving a little space at this part here where the belt is going to be passing through when the dress is being worn. So I'm going to go over my sewing machine to quickly do that, after which I'll come back to show you what to do next. So after doing the front to the back, this is what I have, and this is the little space I left for the rope to pass through when the dress is being worn. So when you're putting on the dress, you're going to be passing the belt through this part on the inner part for the dress to fit properly. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to attach my sleeve to it. So you can go ahead to attach whatever sleeve you want, after which I'll show you the final look of the wrap dress. So here we have the final look of the wrap dress. I went ahead to attach a simple bishop sleeve, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's looking so beautiful and very lovely. So if this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to drop a like and a comment. And also, if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, please kindly click on the subscribe button and also turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I will post a new video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial.